10 seconds remaining.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Battle of Central Europe Season 3. This is going to be the second game in the best of two between Moscow 5 and BUHLO. Currently, Moscow 5 1-0 up in the series, and this is now on the official ticket, guys. So you can buy it and get the Meepo set if you just drop $5 in the store. You can watch all these games in-game if that's your cup of tea. Otherwise, thanks for tuning in and watching with us here on HeflaTV Hitbox 1. I'm Mike Loris. I've got Grandis here as well, and man, BUHLO kind of got rocked. What do you think they have to do differently?
Change the draft, and I think a Scarth Mage and Tidehunter opener is definitely a lot more stable than what they picked up in game number 1, especially the way that they played the draft. They had a decent amount of pickup potential, but they relied very heavily on like a Wind Ranger and Mirana, and the Mirana kind of played more like a Clinks than a Mirana. At least in my opinion. I don't know, I think that hero would have worked better for them, and they just didn't have a way to team fight up against Moscow 5, and in the end, even though it was a really awkward GG, I think it was warranted. They just didn't have a clean way to get back into the game, and as for now, Scarth Mage and Tidehunter, although it's not as unconventional as what we saw with the Legion Commander and Silencer to start things off, it's definitely a lot easier to pull through in a game. And as for Moscow 5, look at the Ogre Magi, which is a fairly standard opener for them, especially when they still had PGG in the roster.
And now they no longer do, and Unstable is going to be standing in that position, I think. I mean, Ogre Magi is always going to be a solid hero to pick up, and I actually really like seeing this hero as he's been first banned out one too many times, I think, and he's a hero that though he is like very top tier, like, I would rather see him played than banned out, just because he's a lot more entertaining like that. But anyway, Legion Commander also getting the kick out from Moscow 5. I don't think it was really the most devastating hero from BUHLO, but I guess just showing a little bit of respect towards that hero. And they're going to, they'll take her out of the pool. And Ogre Magi is an opening for Moscow 5. They also have, like, any way that they could go as far as heroes that they want to pick up moving forward. Although most of the truly top tier heroes are currently kicked out. BUHLO, they have one support, one core, and maybe Moscow 5 want to do something similar, pick up something like a Centaur if they really want to meet BUHLO 1-for-1.
Yeah, and they definitely could do that, or they could go for Avenge if they want another roaming support to combo with that Ogre Magi, just with some more lockdown. It's going to be Alina. Wow.
Bigos? Maybe?
That's my thought. I don't see anybody else that really screams that they want to play Alina on Moscow 5's side.
All right, guys.
It's probably
so when you're picking Alina, first of all, 10 out of 10 times you will be able to pick it up last. So this is just, I'm pretty sure Moscow 5 saying, okay, we're running out of time. What do we want to play? And I guess, I mean, they land on Lina, and Lina Ogre Magi is legit, guys. Like, Fire Blast into even more fire from the Lina. First of all, the enemies are going to be stunned for like 10 million years, and then they're going to be taking a crap ton of damage. With Laguna Blade down the line, multicasting down the line, Tidehunter is going to have a lot of health to withstand that, but I don't even know if he's going to be safe. Just these two alone, BUHLO are going to they're going to have to prioritize their magic survivability. BKBs now are a necessity for BUHLO, or at least for their cores.
5 seconds
Yeah, and eventually Tidehunter getting a pipe is definitely on the table, and just casual cloaks for the Scarth Mage, and even then, can you actually survive that? Especially if Aghanim Scepters start coming out for Lina and Ogre, that can get to some ridiculous level of damage. 950 pure that pierces BKB from the Laguna Blade of the Lina, and then double multicast from the Ogre Magi can completely destroy somebody in seconds without really any ability to react to it. As far as the second banning stage, a lot of very heavy-hitting cores are banned out by BUHLO and the Medusa and Phantom Assassin, whereas Moscow 5 will take out the Sand King Viper. Elder Titan, the choice for BUHLO, is gonna bolster their damage potential, which is really nice with the Tidehunter and Scarth Mage. Already a little bit of minus armor as well as magic amp coming out from those two, which will get a little bit more traction. And for Moscow 5, it's going to be a puck.
So Moscow 5 going to remain elusive, even though Scarth Mage is going to be on the other end. I think just Lina Ogre Magi is enough to lock down the early game, especially knowing the enemy team is, or with the high assumption that the enemy team is going to be running a support Elder Titan, as is the craze nowadays. Your Lina Ogre Magi is going to be walking all over that. Pretty much no questions asked, because Elder Titan is not exactly capable of fighting up against that type of stunning combination. I was going to say that Moscow 5, I wouldn't mind seeing them pick up a Mirana in this case. I mean, they have enough stunning already, but adding an arrow on top of that, you could kill off literally anyone as long as you land a Fire Blast into LSA, and that's very easy to land. But going for the puck is also very nice. I mean, having a little bit of initiating on your team is never a bad thing. In fact, it's a good thing, turns out. And puck, as far as blinking and silencing, looking for a coil, is one that could do it pretty safely. You don't have to commit too heavily once your puck jumps in, as he could usually get himself out if need be. So, it's a very safe third pick for Moscow 5, and maybe we could have seen the puck second picked instead of third picked, leaving the Lina as a mystery down the line, but who knows? I mean, these are all very strong heroes, and they have a lot of lane control.
Yeah, they do. Eventually, there's going to be a point where Moscow 5 are going to be a bit on the squishy side with the heroes that they picked up, not necessarily the Ogre. But if BUHLO decide to buckle down in their lockdown and maybe get something to combo with that Scarth Mage Silence or follow up after a Ravage, that could be problematic for them. Moscow 5, outside of their magic damage, are fairly damage light. Although they do have Bloodlust and Alino, who have some decent passives to help with that physical damage boost. On their own, don't really accomplish much. As for BUHLO's next choice, presumably looking towards a safe laner or a mid up against a puck, you can pretty much go for anything. Despite puck doing well in most lanes, he doesn't necessarily dominate a lot of them either.
Right. I like what you said about like Moscow 5 having a lot of kind of combo-ish potential and not as much heroes that could just stand up on their own. I think in this game for them, Mirana would still be pretty good, but Necrophos is actually looking pretty good for them as well. Just go mass magic damage and maybe get a Veil of Discord down the line for someone on Moscow 5. They could really put the hurt onto BUHLO in that way, but this Templar Assassin pick is actually pretty smart. I mean, you know that Lina is going to have very hard-hitting nukes, as is the puck. If you could block any of that with Refraction, the dream, of course, being Laguna Blade, then you're going to be fantastic. But Moscow 5 instead going to pick the Venomancer. So Templar Assassin, though she's very good against Lina, Ogre Magi, and Puck, not as much so versus the Venomancer. So she's going to have to play things a little bit more cautiously. And Moscow 5, they're still on the damage train with magic damage. They have all the magic damage in the world. Be they going to fully commit to that, though? I mean, Scarth Mage would have been fantastic for them for that amplification, but they still have some options, and they are not going to be able to take this super late. Against a Templar Assassin, it's just not going to happen. BKBs dominate Moscow 5.
Yeah, and not to mention a Templar Assassin with the Elder Titan aura making meld and potentially a Desolator plus Gush hitting that much harder. It's going to be some more minus armor. We kind of saw that in game number 1, but this damage is going to be ridiculous up against Moscow 5. I expect this to be a mid Venomancer for them, and potentially BUHLO will decide to switch around their lanes a little bit because of it, just to make sure that Templar Assassin doesn't have that mid lane matchup. But who else are they going to throw mid up against the Veno? The Elder Titan, Tidehunter, I think you just kind of stick with the standard lanes.
Well, Tidehunter can have an okay time, but I think what Moscow 5 really are going to look to do is use the flexibility in their draft right now to determine the lanes. They want the Venomancer to match up to the Templar Assassin. They're going to try to get a read on that as early as they can, and then swap the lanes accordingly. Because Puck, we've seen him in literally every single lane. When the Lina was picked, I immediately thought, oh, Vegas is probably going to be playing this hero and going probably towards the mid lane. So they have a lot of flexibility in that regard. They can throw these heroes anywhere. Now they know that they're up against a Slark, that's not really going to be a huge issue for them in that they have answers for killing off the Slark, but they don't really have answers to sustain the Slark. So, I mean, I guess it is partially an issue because of that, but they are going to look to dominate the lanes, Moscow 5, and right now they do have stronger lanes and they do have a lot more roaming potential. So it's going to be up to Moscow 5 to not outright win the game, but pretty much guarantee their win by 20-ish minutes. If that happens, if they just have all the kills in the world, then they could easily bulldoze their way into the tier 3s and Raxes.
Yeah, but if at 20 minutes, Templar Assassin and Slark are getting close to those blocking bars, scratch all of that. It's an August Siren.
Sure. It's going to let them take this to the late game, I suppose. Otherwise, they would have been on a very thin timer, and although it is a way to play Dota, it's generally not the safest. So going Naga Siren into late game, she is not going to have the best times. Again, it's going to be up to the other 4 heroes to hold down the fort, and those 4 heroes are definitely capable of doing so. BUHLO have a lot of damage to deal with the Naga Siren, and if she's applied any pressure at all, she will just crumble.
Yeah, and I think it's Moscow 5, not by playing defensively to save the Naga Siren, but by roaming to lanes and putting pressure onto BUHLO to make sure that there isn't any pressure applied towards Tron, and he should be able to farm decently. It's going to be a Venomancer played by Vigos, potentially going towards that mid lane, although there could be player swaps later down the line to ensure that they do get a favorable matchup for themselves. For now, on the Radiant side, it's going to be Moscow 5 with King R playing on that Lina, Tron on the Naga Siren, Blow Your Brain on the Puck, Vigos on the Veno, and Unstable on the Ogre Magi.
This Lina hair looks freaking weird, man. But BUHLO, they have, here we go, their lineup. Seema is going to be playing the Skywrath Mage. No one is going to be on the Templar Assassin. Pashubashu is going to be playing the Tidehunter with Arzik on the Elder Titan. That leaves Stellioner on the Slark as the last hero in the lanes. It's really just a guessing game for Moscow 5, the game being, where's the Templar Assassin? And Templar Assassin, normally you could assume she's going to going mid, although maybe BUHLO's going to switch it up with the Tidehunter or Slark. It is going to be TA going mid, and she will be meeting up against the Venomancer. So I guess Moscow 5 win their little game, and it's going to be a decent lane for the Venomancer, but it's not one that he just outright crushes. It's going to be pretty even.
Yeah, I think that's fair, mostly because of the damage advantage towards the Templar Assassin. Although she won't have the defensive refraction charges to benefit from in the lane, trading hits with the TA generally isn't a very easy prospect for the Veno. The other lanes, we're going to have top a tri-lane coming out from BUHLO, going to be matched up against the Puck. They don't really have much killing potential on the Blow Your Brain. He should survive against pretty much anything that BUHLO have. Even once Silence comes out from the Skywrath Mage, I don't think they have enough burst in order to kill off him. And he should be able to make himself elusive and at least get experience out of this lane. Tidehunter is the more likely to die, I suspect, is Peshibeshu up against the Chain Stun coming out from Moscow 5. Although it's not expected to get a net from the Naga Siren, just the Fire Blast into the LSA should be enough, especially once level 3 or so comes out from these supports.
Or even just running at the Tidehunter and getting into a fist fight is also pretty good. They already used the Ignite, have an LSA, though not in range for it. Tidehunter is going to take a crap ton of damage. Honestly, Tidehunter cannot man-fight up against an Ogre Magi alone, let alone an Ogre Magi with Lina support. So Pashubashu is going to be in quite a bit of trouble, and we do see the smoke being picked up from Unstable at level 1. So he's ready to go into a different lane should the need arise. And, well, if they're going to be ganking a lane with Templar Assassin, that should be a pretty easy kill, or at least a possible kill for Moscow 5. Though, to be fair, wherever Ogre, Magi, and Lina go, there are openings for kills. So a lot of this game is going to be determined by King R and Unstable. The more they roam, the more room they get for the Naga Siren, the more room they get for all of their heroes, really, the better off the entire team will be.
Yeah, Lina currently on solo zoning duties with that double damage rune. It's fairly easy for her to do so, and Puck's not having a great time yet up in the top lane. He'll be forced to use most of his regen as well and hasn't seen a lick of experiences. Skywrath Mage, just with that constant Arcane Bolt harass, is going to be really annoying for him. Both of these safe laners should have a pretty unimpeded time. The action should be wherever the supports of Moscow 5 go, but for now they're going to be playing this passively. LSA lands in Pashubashu, but doesn't net much as the Anchor Smash on Lina is going to mean that she's hitting for almost nothing.
Yeah, so Pashubashu, compared to the Puck, he doesn't have as many survivability tools. I mean, Anchor Smash is obviously very nice. Kraken Shell eventually will be nice as well. What he does have is just a crap ton of regeneration. He has 9 tangos after eating a couple and a salve. So any damage that Lina is going to be poking onto the Tidehunter and applying there is not going to be sticking for very long. Tidehunter is going to be pretty safe in that regard, but the burst damage and the potential for killing is certainly there. You could get in when he's, get him chain stunned and then be happy with that. We do see a mid lane rotation from Arzik going to land Echo Stamp onto Vigus. It's only a level 1 skill, but the beatdown from no one and the Elder Titan might be getting a kill. One more hammer blow is all you need, but Vigos blocks himself with the Plague Ward, and Arzik cannot get that kill. That was very close, however. Elder Titan ganking usually isn't that strong, but if you find yourself in the right circumstances, it can do a lot. Pashubashu, in the meantime, fighting up against Unstable once again. Trying to mess with the Ancient Camps is the Ogre Magi, and he does drop a sentry to block it. So this Tidehunter has no contingency plan, though, to be fair, nor does the Puck.
Yeah, for now, both sides are going to be trading fairly evenly. Templar Assassin getting more than the Venomancer mid, kind of to be expected, especially since he had a support rotation, even though it didn't get the kill, is going to force Vigos to buy himself a salve, and he ferries that out to himself, delaying the bottle as well. Skywrath Mage is making his way towards mid. The courier is nowhere to be found, and it looks like that's what Seema is attempting to accomplish, although there is a little bit of dive potential. I don't expect kills to happen until level 6 comes out from the TA, even with supports.
Diving a Venomancer usually seems like a likely opportunity for you, but just up against so much damage over time, things can very quickly start to add up, and it's hard to really calculate all of that poison impact in your head before you start the dive. Vigos is going to get jumped by no one, but the Plague Wards are going to make short work out of their defensive charges. Now Venomancer can very easily turn things around. Has no support incoming, but this is something that Venomancer can do pretty uniquely versus TA. Just fight on even footing. And now Unstable and King R, they're going to find Pashu in the jungle. Beat down after Ogre Magi already has softened up the Tidehunter with his club. Is going to draw first blood. I said before, Tidehunter cannot fight in a 1v1 versus Ogre Magi. Has less armor, has less damage, and that is exactly why any sort of rotation from anyone, and that Tidehunter is going to drop.
Yeah, even though Puck doesn't have any jungle creeps to go back to in order to farm, Puck level 3, almost level 4, and the Tidehunter still hasn't found level 2. He will after his creep wave, to be fair, but Peshu also giving up first blood, putting no pressure onto Tron. It's just not looking good for them. This Naga Siren is going to be incredibly scary. We'll have enough gold to finish up the Aquila, or maybe just save up straight for the Relic after the Basilius. There's nothing really stopping Tron from getting exactly what he wants, and that's going to be a whole heap of farm.
Maybe when no one gets to level 6, then he will have traps, and he will be able to get a kill on Naga Siren then, but by then Naga Siren will have a song, and things will get really ugly in that department as well. So really BUHLO don't have the proper type of lineup in order to go and kill the Naga Siren super early on. They can kill her off if just things laid out in such a way that, hey, there's a Naga Siren here, we're all here as well, we can get this kill. That's very possible, but that's just not going to happen because Moscow 5, first of all, will see that coming, and second of all, we'll just not let that situation arise. Killing off Lawyer Brain is possible, killing off Vigos is possible, but aside from that, I don't really see much kill potential from the BUHLO side, whereas Moscow 5, though they have yet to roam around with King R as well as Unstable, the levels are certainly coming up, and more levels for these supports. If Ogre Magi gets level 4, a level 2 Fire Blast and a level 2 Ignite can, put some serious hurt into enemies. Lawyer Brain up on top is going to be in quite a bit of trouble. We'll get hit with the concussive tower, focusing onto this Elder Titan. Puck is going to jump forward for it, will not get it, and actually, no, he will get it. Very slow right click, I suppose. Elder Titan does go down, and Puck survives. That was very close.
Yeah, it was. If the Dragon Slave landed, it would have been a lot cleaner of a kill, but now Blow Your Brain also still have plenty of mana to go back into this. If an LSA lands, they have a decent amount of killing potential with 2 points up in that Illusory Orb if they get all of their nukes to land. It is going to be an LSA onto the Slark. They're going to go aggressively. Silence up. One more auto attack's not enough as he does get those stick charges off. Arcane Bolt following Blow Your Brain towards the sidelines. Does not have a phase shift, and there is going to be a Spirit from the Elder Titan. The extra damage will be enough. Is able to phase shift out. Doesn't get the Illusory Orb, however, off, and now it is going to be the Puck. Trading his life for the Slark. Still a pretty good trade, even though it forced out a rotation from Lina as well.
And bot lane, Pashu, Fire Blast after Ignite, net being thrown as well. Tidehunter going to be soloed, or I guess killed off by 2 melee heroes, which is so very rare to see, but 4-1 and Moscow 5 are still off to a very nice start in this game. The Puck dropping there is certainly not the best, but honestly it seemed like he was dead anyway, and there was no response kill in sight, except until Lina got a random Dragon Slave on a Slark who decided to stick around for a little bit too long. So they got something where they should have gotten nothing, and Moscow 5 should be very happy about that. Still, they haven't actually rotated around with these supports, but they're still getting kills regardless. Like Pashu, level 3, is going to almost get completely soloed by Tron. Unstable, looking for mana for Fire Blast, will find it. Now the beatdown into the Tidehunter. It's yet another kill. This time, it's going to be Tron to take the last hit. This Tidehunter is just falling so far behind in the level department that quite soon Naga Siren will be able to get these kills by herself.
And that's just not a situation you want to be in. Naga Siren is going to get herself a bottle. Not the characteristic choice for a safe lane Naga. Some players like hitting Soul Ring or even Arcane Boots in order to sustain the mana. It's really nice to be able to spam out those Riptides while you're farming with your illusions. It is going to delay the Radiance a tad, but the farming rate overall is probably going to be unaffected.
Mid lane, Vigos does have some support from King R, although the support was spotted. It looks like they're going to start a fight regardless. Vigos slowed to a crawl now, is silenced up as well. LSI is going to stop no one in his tracks. However, Echo Stomp is still going to land. One hit onto Vigos, going to drop him very low. The Nova goes out, however, now no one can take a lot of dots. Will try to kill King R before he goes down. He will not do so, and Seema is going to die right before he gets the kill. So that was Lina collecting double, and Arzik is going to be able to escape, but Lina is the real winner there. She's now level 6. She collected experience from 2 kills, plus got 2 kills worth of gold as well. And Scarlet Mage got a little bit of something from seeing the Venomancer die, but definitely a trade that Moscow 5 are going to be willing to make.
Yeah, and that Laguna Blade is just going to be really scary for the heroes on BUHLO's side. They don't have the most HP. The Templar Assassin, she can't rely on those defensive refraction charges with the Venomancer on the pitch, and the ganking coming out from King R is just going to be so much scarier now that that spell is available to him. He is going to be going for the pretty standard, just straight up max of the Dragon Slave, which is nice, and probably just go for the full nuking build and maxing out the LSA afterwards. For now, there's no huge rotations coming out from them, but Elder Titan is down in bottom, trying to put as much pressure as he can onto Tron, but he can't stop this tower from going down alone. And even with support, now there's a potential dive coming out as the Ogre Magi is over on the sidelines. No vision from the Dire to spot this out, and our Zeke just needs to be so careful to avoid dying.
Seems like he knows more or less of what's going on. Now Unstable showing his face, he knows exactly what is going on, but Moscow 5 have their eyes set on this tier 1 tower. Naga Siren not exactly the strongest pusher right now, only 2 points in those images. Going to be doing a little bit of damage here and there. Tower's already dropped pretty low, but killing that off is not going to be as easy as they really would expect. Regardless, it is still possible with only one hero being down there. Tidehunter's a completely abandoned ship, is just going to be jungling, and we saw this in the last game from Bullier Brain on his Tidehunter. He had a crappy start, but just a couple minutes in the jungle, stacking up a couple camps here and there, clearing Ancients, and all of a sudden he had, like, what, 16 minutes, Blink Dagger, and Arcane Boots. I don't think that's going to happen for this Tidehunter, but the recovery in the jungle for Tidehunter is certainly very possible.
Definitely. And it's going to be a pretty crucial tool for them, especially getting that level 6. Blink Dagger is a pretty long ways away, but just getting any ability to take fights is huge. Ultimate pop by the Slark up top to pursue out the puck, both of them trading fairly evenly in the HP department, but Slark healing up with his passive as well as Puck having the bottle is going to mean that nothing's actually going to come of it. Vigos is able to constantly put some pressure on this tier 1 tower in mid with the Plague Ward spam that Templar Assassin can't really deal with on her own, but then again, they're not close enough and they're not getting that much damage under the tier 1. Both of these heroes are farming at a decent rate. Gale on mid, no one's going to be tagged by it and slowed down. The Ogre Magi is a little too far away and they don't have the secondary support. Lena's currently getting some farm in the safe lane.
And 2 melee heroes are going to see a Observer, and hey, they will actually be able to hit it with the Quelling Blade. I actually completely forgot that that's a thing, but they will take out an Observer. And you know, the thing I'm most surprised about in this game is that Moscow 5 have not exactly ganked anyone with the Lina Ogre Magi. Like, they've had the smoke from minute 0. It's now 10 minutes in, and they haven't used it, and that's something I would have expected them to go for, you know, 2 or 3 times by now, but I mean, they've been getting kills regardless, so even if they don't exactly go for these grouped up ganks, it's fine. It's just something that is a little bit surprising to me. Blur Brain over towards top is going to get actually dodge the Echo Stomp, so he will be surviving a little while longer. Puck not getting too much. 14 CS, 1-1-1. He just wants his Blink Dagger, really, and then he's going to be good to go, but he's not actually getting that much help from the rest of his team. They've been mostly on the bottom half of the map, the 2 supports for Moscow 5. They've, you know, touched no one a couple times, but that's about it.
Yeah. Speaking of no one, he's farming really well in the mid lane, although that's kind of inflated by the Plague Ward CS every once in a while. Still beating Vigos in lane slightly, although not overwhelmingly so. Venomancer's build this game still is yet to be seen after getting the bottle boots. They're going to Laguna Blade the Templars. That's my goodness. I didn't expect that to happen, but I suppose neither did the TA. Had refraction, but didn't spend it.
It was just a sneaky wraparound from Lina. Templar Assassin didn't even know where the Lina was, and she was at less than half HP to begin with, so King R walking forward, Laguna Blade walking out, easy peasy there. So Templar Assassin going down, and just like that, Vigos is going to start flying those Serpent Wards all over the place in the mid tier 1 area. Vigos is going to get silenced and get a little bit of damage from Seema. Level 3 bolts do in fact hurt. Now Vigos is going to get chased down by our Zeke. He's going to turn around, throw a Gale, going to connect onto 2, but it's going to be Seema to take most of the damage, especially from the Lina. He's going to die first. Vigos, slowed by a Sonic Trap, is going to survive. No, he gets punched twice. Just barely fast enough is this Elder Titan, but King R is going to give chase. Here comes the puck, has a coil. Slark is going to jump right into an LSA. Will get the kill on the Lina in the end. Blur Brain doesn't have any cooldowns left. He has to just wait a little while longer for an orb to get to the high ground, but he will go down. No phase shift. Where's the Ogre Magi in all of this? He's on bottom farming. These are the type of fights where you really want an Ogre.
Yeah, they definitely are. The Fire Blast now with level 6 would have been pretty crucial, but they will be able to get a tier 1 tower for their trouble, and Tron is farming away on top of it, and we'll have that relic probably at about 13 minutes in. I don't know, it's going to be really soon incoming. Vigos is going to decide to go for Hand of Midas on his mid Venomancer. It's not a good trade for Moscow 5, especially since the Slark and the Templar Assassin are the ones to get that cleanup, but it's not terrible either, I suppose, since they are still getting something out of the other sides of the map.
And Tron's only 400 away from his relic, so taking down a tower is certainly helping his gold pool in that regard. And really the reason why this Hand of Midas is not an absolutely terrible item on this Venomancer right now is because they have so much farm on the Naga Siren. They have, for the most part, dodged the bullet in that regard. No one is going to get jumped over towards mid, but Refraction is going to eat the Fire Blast, rather. King R in the area, but I don't think she can get a random surprise kill on Templar Assassin. Not this time, unless she knows that the defensive charges are out, and, well, look at that, they are out. A Dragon Slave into a Blade maybe is going to get this kill, although Vigos is just baiting right now. BUHLO should know that there is a Lina here. Now with an Observer, they definitely know that there's a Lina here. M5 going to look for a little bit of aggression, but Puck doesn't have a Blink Dagger. Getting this kill is very difficult, especially with a Mystic Flare landing on King R. He will survive for just a little while longer. Throw a Laguna Blade onto the Scarith Mage, get the kill. Now two-man coil with a Song of the Siren as well. A little bit of layering of those ultimates, less than ideal, but the goal was to get the Lina to safety, and I guess mission accomplished.
Slark gets a die on the mid tower, which is unfortunate for Moscow 5. They'll have to wait a little bit longer till Naga Siren has her relic gold, but she is going to have that right about now. It's still going to be pretty good for them. They delay and avoid any kills, and Lina turns what could have been a pretty easy pickoff onto King R into a death for the Scarith Mage. The Tidehunter has been passively farming for quite a long time, has his arcane boots, and still yet to see a Ravage coming out from him. I'd like to see Pashu maybe look for a kill with it, but where's the opening? I'm not exactly sure.
Even if he does find a good opening, it's going to be him versus like 3 enemy heroes, and if a Silence lands or if an LSA lands, then maybe Kraken Shell will bail him out, maybe Laguna Blade will fly through first. It's really just a toss-up, so any opening for the Tidehunter is not necessarily a pure opening for him. There's a Blink Dagger on the Slark, now on the hunt for Tron, and he's actually going to run into the Naga Siren, who doesn't have a TP, nor does she have a Song of the Siren. She will salve up, getting TP support from the Ogre Magi. Slark just needs a pounce to land. He will just fall short, and now, well, Fire Blast is there onto the Slark. The Ignite is going to be thrown as well. Tron needs to dodge this Echo Stomp, but he will go down right now. Blur Brain's going to arrive a little bit too late, though. He's going to get silenced. Mystic Flare is going to drop, do some pretty serious damage, but Puck is going to survive. Naga Siren getting picked off, though she does have her relic, so not much gold lost there. It's going to be King R in the mid lane to be in more trouble. No one's going to give chase, not too deeply, though. Lina's going to be fine. Looks like everyone else is going to live after Blur Brain drops pretty low. Spirit from the L Titan still scouting everyone out unstable. Might be dove right now by the Slark. He will jump forward into the tower, will get fire blasted. Multicast is going to be on Ignite, however. It will be the death of the Slark, and Vigos is going to be the winner of that one. But BUHLO diving for kills, getting the Naga Siren and getting the Ogre Magi, certainly very nice, but I just don't know if it's enough just because Naga Siren already has her Radiance in the works.
Yeah, I don't think this is the time that you can shut down the Radiance on the Naga Siren. This is really the most stressful part about working towards that Radiance is getting the relic. It's the largest chunk of gold, and now that she has it, it's going to come out maybe not before 20 minutes if they do kill her a couple more times, but even if they do, it's almost a sure thing that that Radiance is there. Right now, the Slark showing off his Blink Dagger for the first time is going to net a couple of kills, but he dies for it again. So the Slark, although he's currently dominant on the map, I'm not sure that's going to maintain the case. However, Vigos pushing out is maybe in a bit of trouble. The Templar Assassin as well as the Scarith Mage are close, and Vigos is going to pump in the Scarith Mage. Gale's on to Scene of the Slayer, but now silenced up. No one is a little bit far away from this, but should be able to chase him down. Face Boots, Drum Charge, Meld Strike, Arcane Bolt, Scarith Mage, Mystic Flare. And that's going to be a Fire Blast in the Seam, and not going to multicast, but a Lina LSA as well as Dragon Slave will do him in. Ultimate from the Elder Titan clips onto no one. It's going to more or less just be a line that Moscow 5 can't cross as everybody makes a retreat, but now with the Slark coming in from the left-hand side of the fight, they might look to reinitiate. Slark is potentially looking to clean up the Lina, but instead is going to bump into Blow Your Brain, which is a target that he can't actually go on very reliably. However, Templar Assassin still sticking close. Nobody's going to initiate, and everything's going to be just fine.
And because the Venomancer has his Hand of Midas, he's more than happy to give his life, just because he, first of all, isn't a hero that needs a ton of gold. Second of all, he's guaranteed said gold, and oh my god, I did not see that one coming.
Wow.
I get him Scepter on Lina 17 minutes in. There's no BKBs on BUHLO, but still, having a whole lot of pure damage to throw into one target is certainly going to be very useful. That is 675 pure damage, and let's take a quick look at the softest hero from BUHLO. He's at 853. Scarith Mage, you know, losing the better portion of his health pool with one ultimate. It's good times for the Lina.
Yeah, and even the Slark, the one with the most HP, is going to be chunked down to more than half. It's pretty much going to delete a hero from the game. It's an incredibly fast Scepter, mostly because she's 6'2 and 3. Blurry Brain going to be bumping into no one, slowed down by the Gale, and now a very long range net from Tron, running after him with that haste room, fire blasted down. Do they have detection? They don't. Stomp is going to be dropped where no one is, and they're still sticking around. Meld onto Tron's secondary meld. I'm not sure how that damage came out. They're going to instead be able to focus down no one. No Laguna Blade even necessary, as Templar Assassin bit off more than she could chew.
It was a little bit close to the Naga Siren, but a survival is survival, and now Slark up on top. Gonna try to take this tower outside of the siege creep. I think Vigos should be able to deny this, and they will. Slark actually gonna jump right back in. Going to get multicasted, however, packed out, but it's not going to save him from this coil, which he will, in fact, snap. Then Laguna Blade, King R. I mean, that was not necessary at all, but sometimes you just gotta show off your Laguna Blade. It's going to net that kill, and the tower was denied by the Venomancer as well, so nothing but wins right there for Moscow 5 as they take a whole bunch of kills, and the Naga Siren still farming up. Doesn't have the Radiance just yet. The delay between the Relic and Radiance in this game is going to be a little bit longer than ordinary, but, I mean, shit, there's an Aghanim Scepter on Lina. They have all the time in the world, and there should also be an Aghanim Scepter being built up by Vigos. However, he's not actually getting that much in the grand scheme of things. At least his net worth is tied up in this Midas, so eventually he will get there unless there's a point booster on him. So he will be going for an Aghanims of his own. Lots of magical damage, as we kept on saying during the draft, and this is something that BUHLO are going to have to prepare for. They have no workings of the pipe. They have a BKB maybe on the Templar Assassin, although that might be a Desolator. Things might get a little bit hairy if they don't protect themselves from this magic damage.
Yeah, and here's your Radiance on the Naga Siren, and even if this magic damage doesn't outright win them the game in the next couple of minutes, the Naga Siren still has plenty of space to farm, and she'll be able to get up to that next item very easily, into the Boots of Travel, and then the Mantis style soon after. Down at bottom, Pashu Pashu is there with a Blink Dagger as well as a Ravage available. It doesn't look like Moscow 5 are too interested in fighting that one out. No one is trying to solo up Roshan. It's definitely doable, although not the easiest. It is decently reliable since he is able to bottle up, and this regeneration rune beside him, even if he drops low during this, the meld minus armor as well as the damage from retraction means that this is going to probably work for them, as it doesn't seem Moscow 5 know what's going on, and Ogre and Lina are just going to walk casually by, as looks like Templar Assassin's going to get away with murder.
Oh man, if she walked out for that regen rune or any rune, then the Observer Ward would have spotted that, and they would have collapsed on her and killed her off in a hurry, but instead, free Aegis now for the Templar Assassin. Still Moscow 5, not going to be phased by this one, looking for openings. It's going to be a slow push up on top lane with the rest of the team in the area as well. Even the Naga Siren, should they need her, they're going to go for the Elder Titan first. No multicast on the Fire Blast, but they have more than enough magic to obliterate the Titan, and then he's going to take a very quick fall. Still, King R has held onto the Laguna Blade, will run straight into Seema. LSA is going to land, gets silenced, however, so she has to make a retreat. No one is on the chase. Here comes the Slark as well. Laguna Blade's going to be dropped right before she dies. Pashu looking for a Ravage opportunity. There's going to be no one in sight. It's going to be a 2-for-1 with King R collecting, and well, Vigos is going to be safe as well. Moscow 5 get a little bit of something here and there. Bottom line, they get more space for Tron, and that's really the goal.
It is, and currently is almost up in enough gold for those Boots of Travel or Yasha, whichever he decides to go for first. Almost 2,000 in the bank. I expect it to just be the standard Boots of Travel, but he's farming up his entire jungle, or at least what's available to him. BUHLO have slowed down his farm a little bit by blocking out the small and large camps on the side. Sentry Ward's about to wear off there, but they will still be down that large camp that Naga Siren really would love to farm. Eventually, once those Boots of Travel come out, however, she'll be able to farm up the enemy jungle as well. Just push out that top lane, take all of the farm away from them. So it's not going to slow down her farm that much, but Naga Siren is still going to, oh no, just be a nuisance. One ward is not enough.
Yes, and the Boots of Travel are up. The Boots of Travel are up on the Naga Siren, so she will be able to bounce around pretty much wherever she wants. Join fights if really need be, although that's probably not going to be her objective in this portion of the game. The rest of the team is pretty much doing their job. They're holding down the fort. They're buying enough space for the Naga Siren, and now they're going to look for Pashu. He has a Blink Dagger, although Fire Blast does come up pretty quickly. Blink out from the Ignite is going to keep the Tidehunter safe. King R is actually working now on a Yule Scepter. This Lina is getting quite a number of kills, and well, Lina with a lot of farm is actually a pretty dangerous hero. She can, if need be, go into a more damage-heavy build. It looks like this game she's going to focus on the utility first, getting the Aghanims and the Yules. This is also a good way to go on the Lina. Maybe a Force Staff or a Blink Dagger down the line, but actually Slark going to assassinate the Venomancer with his shiny new Orchid. Another new pickup for the Slark, and Venomancer tried to mess with the Slark before and TP'd out. This time not as lucky.
Yeah, speaking of shiny new pickups, we now have a Desolator finished onto no one. And that's going to be a pretty ridiculous amount of damage for BUHLO. They still have a decent amount of pickoff potential, and these Orchid, oh, there's the Ravage. Solo on to blow your brain. I didn't expect them to blow it, but it will secure off that puck kill. Everybody else is inside the trees. TP available for Lina. Ogre Magi also sitting onto one of his own. It looks like they're going to be able to make it out clean. However, Elder Titan, he's being pursued by a Nagastar and Illusion. Shouldn't fall, though he's forced to Yules it down.
It's another new item for BUHLO, the Yule Scepter on Elder Titan. Pretty standard among Elder Titans these days, just so they could, well, first of all, keep their allies safe, which is probably the primary use of the item. Then secondary use setting up for yourself. They're going to go jump in for King R, who will dodge the pounce, and it's going to get him quite a bit of space. Spirit's going to stick on Lina so they know exactly where she is, but you missed the first pounce, you're probably not going to hit the second one. They're also going to catch the Elder Titan. If he's Galed, he's just going to die. Yeah, Gale, and, well, I thought he would take a little bit more time to get killed, but Laguna Blade will do it. That'll definitely do it.
Yeah, well, it's going to secure yourself that Yule Scepter for King R as soon as he has enough money for the Void Stone, which will passively come up in just about 30 seconds. Right now, no one is pursuing down onto Unstable. No Blink Dagger, although they do spot him out. It's the puck to be gone on the sidelines by the Orchid on the Slark. They'll be able to get that kill. Ogre Magi throws out a Fire Blast, does get that ding ding ding, but it's not going to be enough to eat through the Refraction. Ignite hasn't fully taken its effect onto no one. And now it's Moscow 5 to be collapsing on this Templar Assassin. It's still a precarious spot for both teams to fight. Fire Blast thrown out into the Skyrath Mage, and Stable also gets the Ignite off, but he's probably going to fall. Silence that melted down. Going to be very easy pickings for BUHLO. Now King R in a bit of a pickle, going to be chased down by no one. Does have the Phase Boots drums activated, going to trap him down, slow him down. Now King R going to throw the Yule Scepter up, delaying the Templar Assassin. 4 staff on the Tidehunter is going to be a little too short. No blink available. King R might be able to make it out of here alive, wasting a lot of space at the very least. They have another trap cooling down, going to spend that onto the Lina. Now blink forward, Gush. They will be able to land, but it's under the tier 2 tower and Laguna Blade. It's going to be the Tidehunter to fall. Vigos is dropping incredibly low, but not low enough. Now no one being focused, stunned down, Dream Coiled. The nukes from the puck are going to be enough to get the Aegis, but now they need to split. I'm not sure they can kill him a second time, but it looks like they're going to try. LSA going to land. They still need to do the refraction. It's very easy with the Plague Words. Dragon Slay, the Loser Orb. Not enough damage and no detection. It's going to mean that no one's safe for now, but now with the stun Gale, he's going to be waking up from that silenced up. He's going to be able to put a lot of return damage into Blow Your Brain. Now no one. Secondary Meld going to die to the Venomancer Tick.
A little bit too greedy from BUHLO. Really, there's no other way to put it. Like, they could have been just fine with getting the pickoffs that they had, and Templar Assassin Tide could have gotten out of there safe and sound, but instead decided to chase Alina with the brown boots, to be fair. She's also very quick with that Yule Scepter. 385 movement speed with Yule Scepter, and I guess potentially the additional movement speed from the Fiery Soul as well. She's moving really fast, and she can move faster once she gets upgraded boots as well. So she's a very tough hero to actually keep up with. Even though you may have traps, you're just getting yourself into a more sticky situation. Vigos in the bottom lane is extremely weak, and I don't think he's going to be able to survive this. However, Yule Scepter from the Lina going to set up now on the Elder Titan. Does not have Laguna Blade because she's just going to be annihilated by the Orchid from the Slark. Jump in from the puck is going to actually kill off the Skyrath Mage. Now thrown up into the air. It's going to fall right into a Ravage, and the Pact going to instantly kill off that hero. Moscow 5, they're making a couple too many poor trades, and even though the Naga Siren is not really a part of them, this is actually going to be a larger issue moving forward if they keep on giving kills away to this Slark. Now it's going to be unstable to get stalled out for now, and well, he does have a multicast. If Slark gets a little bit too close, yeah, he will be able to escape for now. Ignite is going to be dodged. Tower is going to be held for now for Moscow 5. The more times their heroes get killed without any trades in sight, actually Slark, hold on, is going to now pack Shadow Dance, going to try to go for Unstable, will land the pounce on Unstable, going to dodge Anchor Smash, still will be okay for now. Here comes the Gale from Vigos. The Nova is going to land on Slark, and I don't think that's going to be lethal, although with one random Plague Ward it should be. Teleport out from Tidehunter, not going to make it home, although I guess he does make it home, but he dies on impact. Vigos is going to collect a double kill and ends up getting the upper hand in that trade with Naga Siren still not having a part of it. Vigos is going to chase forward for some reason, going to run straight into the Templar Assassin, getting a 3-shot. Really, Moscow 5, they have to tighten up the screws a little bit because every single time they lose a hero, it's just more pressure that's being put onto the Naga Siren for the late game.
Yeah. It's still going to be okay for Moscow 5. For every screw that was loose on their side, there was an equal one for BUHLO. Slark dying, Tidehunter dying probably wasn't necessary. But that Venomancer ultimate level 3 with Aghanim Scepter did a huge amount of damage. Still no avail on Moscow 5. I think it would be a worthy pickup in the BKBs on BUHLO. Despite having a decent amount of gold on their heroes, haven't invested into that item yet. It's going to be nice later down the line, but there's still a Laguna Blade to go through that, as well as some decent physical damage from Lina, even though she doesn't have any straight up damage items. With that maxed out Fiery Soul and just the stat that she's accrued, she does do a decent amount of right click, not to mention Naga and her illusions.
And if it's not a BKB for BUHLO, at the very least a pipe. Like, the magic damage from Moscow 5 is very bursty and it is very dangerous, so pipe isn't going to completely protect you, but everyone on Moscow 5 is doing magical damage. Literally everyone. So you might as well pick up that item, and it should be the Tidehunter to go for it eventually. Pashu instead going to get the Force Staff first. That's a perfectly reasonable item to prioritize over the likes of a pipe, but I expect he's going to pick that one up in the future, and hopefully it's going to be in time to save themselves against a little bit of this magic damage from Moscow 5, especially this Veno ultimate. But with Venomancer soon be picking up a Blink Dagger, I would expect it's going to be lots of easily placed magic damage from Moscow 5, and still they have the Naga Siren farming, and though Slark is doing remarkably well in this game, I don't quite know if he's doing well enough. Unstable is going to get jumped, and Arcane Bolt will kill him off. Song of the Siren being used, unfortunately, will do nothing to save the Ogre.
Yeah. As far as the Slark is concerned, his next item is going to be Shadow Blade. Used to get a jump into Blow Your Brain. It's a pretty nice pickoff with that Orchid. They love their Shadow Blade on BUHLO, it seems, and it's a nice item for Slark, but if you're going to go for it, I don't think you go for Blink as well. Gale, as well as the Nova from the, Venomancer are going to miss onto the Slark, and he'll be able to make his way out if you're potentially looking for a re-engage with the, Templar Assassin. They're going to try to blow up Vigos. He's going to make it back to the base with his teleport scroll, and everything is going to calm down from here on out. Although the Tier 2 Tower might be in some trouble, they have Eul Scepter on the sidelines on the Slark to make sure that King R is going to make it back under his Tier 3 tower. Despite being spotted out, he'll be safe.
BUHLO are going to go for this tower anyway. Moscow 5, they do have, on paper, the correct tools to deal with this. However, no ultimate on the Venomancer, even with the Blink Dagger, is not going to be relevant. The tower is going to fall for free. No trade really in sight for Moscow 5 as of yet. Their Naga Siren is getting to that Naga Siren point where she has the Manta Style and Radiance. 30 minutes in, the farm for Naga Siren is pretty much exactly where she should be. However, the Templar Assassin and Slark, because of the fact that Moscow 5 have been giving away so many kills, are also getting really big, and if push comes to shove, I can't see BUHLO's carries just out-dueling Naga Siren. That is certainly a possibility in this game, just having so much burst damage. So Moscow 5, though they do have a late-game Siren, and normally it's going to just be an instant win tool, I don't think this is going to be one of those games. Now a BKB on the Templar Assassin, she's going to keep herself very safe. It's going to be the Scarith Mage, who's in the least amount of safety, however, is going to get jumped and very quickly brought down. No one still in the Roshan pit is going to get coiled, and she has no way out of here. She's going to pop that BKB, but Laguna Blade does go right through it, and it will. One more hit's all they need. No one's still alive. However, we're going to now go for Tron, who's going to get bashed down by the Slark. Ravage is going to connect, and that will kill off that Naga Siren. Unstable, the only one still in this area, he's going to drop as well. BUHLO take a fantastic fight because the Templar Assassin BKB, turns out, it does quite a bit of work, even with the Aghanim Scepter on the Lina.
Yeah, Slark pounces up to the high ground and will be in a bit of a peculiar situation. Still, Moscow 5, they aren't able to get everything to work. If Naga Siren survives there, it's still okay, even though they lose Roshan, but losing their Naga is incredibly difficult for them to deal with, especially since he was carrying the Ogre's Gem on top of it, which is now in the possession of Slark, and this is going to be a double life for Slark if they're able to take it. They don't have a great way to sustain no mech or anything of this sort. After Roshan, he'll be able to heal up inside his invis form. But right now, they need a little bit of help from Arzeek, and Pucky's inbound. If he jumps into that orb, he probably could have blown up the Slark. It would have been really risky. It is going to be taken by them, and that is your Aegis for Slark. So that's about it right now. Moscow 5 are currently on the back foot.
And they're going to have to be on the defensive, get even more farm for the Naga Siren, but even then, we saw how long she lasted against the burst damage of Slark just by himself. I mean, not even to mention the Templar Assassin. Here's when the Elder Titan aura really comes into play as well. He's level 16, has been getting quite a lot of levels as the game progresses, and honestly, a lot of the bulk of the Naga Siren's survivability does come from the fact that she has an outrageous amount of agility, and therefore has a lot of armor, but it doesn't really matter. Vigos in the mid lane is going to get obliterated by a Scarith Mage ulti. Coil's going to kill off the Scarith in response, but probably not even worth it, as no one's going to give chase for Blow Your Brain. Huge hit, almost two-shotting that Puck if not for that phase shift. Stomp, not quite going to land as Puck does jump closer to his base, but gets pounced upon, then it's going to drop. They have a Naga Siren ultimate to try to defend this, but this is going to be a push that BUHLO can probably get away with. Laguna Blade onto Slark will not kill him off, and he had an Aegis, even though he was in a little bit of danger. He would not have gone down there. There's no backdoor protection, and no one's sitting on the front lines, though the creep wave has been cut by, I believe, the Ogre Magi. They could still afford to go for this because Moscow 5, they can't make a defense. There is no Ravage just yet for Pashubashu, but they don't even need it right now. They're just going to dive deep. It's actually going to be an assassination. Slark is going to, or L-Titan's going to kill off the puck. Now 2 hits onto the Ogre Magi, going to kill him off as well. No one in the BKB form. It's going to be perfectly safe for everyone except for that Laguna Blade. Still, BUHLO are poking away at this tower. Will not be able to bring it down entirely. They just need a little bit of time for Slark to get back up to full HP. They need a creep wave. And one is coming right now, although one range creep, I don't know if you would call that a creep wave. It's going to deactivate backdoor protection.
If only for a couple of seconds, that's really all that they need. It's also a very sad range creep at about 50 HP. He is going to be leading the charge, and they need to protect this creep with their lives, and they will. Range creep survives, and that means tier 3 tower is gone.
What a hero range creep, man. I mean, he gets obliterated immediately, and then BOCE jumps in, ultimate onto the Templar Assassin. I don't know if this is going to be enough to kill her off. Venomancer ultimate is not lethal, and she will teleport away straight out. Unstable, unable to close the distance. Tower goes down, and they pull out the Venomancer ultimate as well as hold on to their own Ravage. I don't think anyone else in BUHLO is in any trouble of dying right now, and looks like it will be a clean disengage.
Yeah, and yet more BKBs coming out from BUHLO. Now one on the Elder Titan, Slark. He has enough gold for it if he wants to go for that item, and I think it'd be a worthy investment for him, but for now it's going to be a smoke with him and Scarth Mage. They're going to potentially find a pickoff. They walk by a couple of Naga Siren illusions, and they know that they're illusions. I think the hero that's going to eat the brunt of this is Puck, as Blow Your Brain is none the wiser. Shadowblade will get that Orchid jump onto Blow Your Brain. He's gone. Yep, that's it.
Man, easy kill. Someone is like chopping down trees or something with a chainsaw outside. I don't know if that's audible for you.
I can't hear any chainsaw. The only things that are getting chopped down on my side are Pucks.
Okay, well, we might see BOCE getting chopped down as well. He's going to get silenced up. He's going to make a clean TP out. However, Lina might not be as lucky. She doesn't even have a TP scroll. She's going to try to kill off Seema, as she has done in the past so many times before she has died, but she will also take a fall. This Slark, he's sitting on 5,400 gold. This game, the Shadowblade, makes a little bit more sense, so he's getting a lot more value out of that. And what do you go for next as Slark? I'm assuming it's got to be like a Basher, right? Or a Eye of Scotty, one of those big ticket items. Regardless, he's going to jump in. BOCE does get the ultimate out, which is going to do a lot of damage to BUHLO over time, but not going to help him in the short term. Unstable is going to get brought down by the Slark. It's going to make it a double kill. Siren is the only one alive for Moscow 5, and Naga Siren, as farmed as she may be, is not going to be able to get this clean up, as Slark does lose his Aegis. Not a huge deal there. It's kind of what it's for. Desolator, actually no backdoor protection is going to kick in. Blow Your Brain is going to drop a coil, I suppose, but 1v4, not a good idea. They're going to lose Raxes. Fortunately for Moscow 5, they still have tier 2s available, so they can't get any more BUHLO. Unless they want to just go for tier 4s, I guess they can get a little bit more. Lina Naga Siren can't hold this one either. They're just going to let Pashubashu tank up this tower, but they're going to jump in for a Ravage. Forstaff King are closer to the Slark, actually. Very well played by the Tidehunter, though. Ravage only onto 1. Not sure if that's completely worth it. Our Zeke is dropping very low, as is no one. The Radiance Burn will kill off this Templar Assassin, it looks like. Unless they can kill off this illusion, they will kill off one. Can they kill off the other? They will be able to. Now Tron, way too far ahead, is going to Manta Style split out, but Song of the Siren going to keep herself safe. Slark's taking a snooze, has Shadow Dance and a Blink Dagger if need be, so he should be fine to escape this one, and he will just start the walk out. Everyone from BUHLO is going to survive, it looks like. And now they could look for the side lanes. That still have tier 2 towers up, and if Moscow 5 couldn't defend their tier 3 and their Raxes and their tier 4, they sure as hell cannot defend their tier 2.
Slark is currently opening up a bank. He has 8,343 gold currently in his stash, and you talked about Scotty or Basher. He could go Scotty and Basher pretty much in one shopping trip. This is ridiculous farm on Slark, and he hasn't needed it. He's been doing wonders with just the Blink and Shadowblade. I thought it might have been a little bit of mobility overkill, but he's utilizing the items very effectively.
Yeah, he's getting the correct items, and he's playing with them correctly. He's going all the time on the aggressive, like always getting pickoffs on the Puck, on the Lina as well. That's what you have to do when you're Slark in general, let alone a Slark with this type of build. So it is going to be a Basher completed Abyssal Blade, actually straight up from the Slark, and it looks like he gets to test that new item on an Ogre Magi that he is going to blink forward for. He's going to pounce and miss. However, he really wishes he had a Basher right about now, but unfortunately the Abyssal Blade gets delivered right after the Ogre TP. It's kind of unfortunate for the Slark, but hey, he'll have that one for next time. That next time might be very soon, as he's still actually spotted out by the Radiance, so he knows that he is spotted. He will not be able to get that done, and he will actually duck into shadows and then straight into the Shadow Blade. Tron's on the bottom lane, and if the Slark runs into this Naga, that will be a kill. Although running into anyone else will also be a kill. So whoever Moscow 5 is going to run into the Slark is going to be in for unfortunate times. Vegas is trying to split push top lane. Venomancer can push decently, but not against all 5 heroes of BUHLO barreling down. They just want to end the game right now.
And I think they'll be able to do so. They have the Basher on the Slark, Abyssal Blade already, and that Ogre Magi stood for half of a second, if even that. The Meld Strike in one attack from the Templar Assassins, usually enough to kill the majority of the side of Moscow 5. That minus armor is quite honestly ridiculous. No base armor and then Meld plus Desolator is pretty crazy.
Man,
Jump in from Vigas. He's going to be able to get his ultimate pretty decently off, but it doesn't actually matter. He's going to be ripped apart. Sung the Siren not affecting no one as he's going to go into King R. King R survives with 200 HP, but can they defend their base? Ravage going to be spent on only Naga Illusions.
And then punished with the Laguna Blade. Coil's going to be dropped onto no one. He's going to go straight into the Meld. I don't think this is going to get the Templar Assassin out of trouble. We'll try to go for Bloody Brain. Almost getting that kill, but almost doesn't actually mean anything. Slark is going to make a clean retreat. Can, in theory, turn around if need be, but he's going to think better against it. I mean, BUHLO, they take out all the tier 4 towers, which is, I suppose, nice, but you generally want to Ravage heroes. Like, sometimes that's pretty good, I hear. So he should probably be a little bit more careful at landing that. Still, Slark is on the hunt. I don't think he's going to find anyone this time. There is no True Sight, though, and he can get a solo kill onto the Ogre Magi and the Puck. Really, both if he wants to. Multicast is going to slow him down. And now the chain stun from the Lina, but Slark is still surviving. He's going to die. Yes, Bloody Brain finally lives that onslaught, and Slark is finally going to go down. But Moscow 5, can they actually make anything happen off of this? Their Naga Siren has picked up a heart. Certainly is a very powerful hero at this stage, but going into BUHLO's base is a whole nother deal entirely.
It really is. Right now they have buyback available for the Slark since he only bought the Abyssal Blade instead of committing for even more. And they do get that gem off of the Slark as well. It's a win for Moscow 5, but it's only a hold. They still have 2 lanes of barracks, and they still have 2 tier 2 towers. BUHLO, I think they should play this a little bit more passively. If they find a lot of pickoffs, especially on the Naga Siren without buyback, they can go to end this game, especially since the Ancient is exposed. But I think just going for the tier 2 towers is not only more stable, but just the better approach.
Yeah, it's very easy for them. Like, they tore down tier 4s with not much of a problem. They could easily do the same thing to tier 2s. Unstable is going to get flared, and he's going to be brought down just by Bashu and Sima in that combination together. Slark is still down for another 30, so BUHLO should be taking this time to push out the side lanes. Really, they don't have to worry about much pushing coming up towards the mid lane, seeing as though, well, there's no Raxes there for the Moscow 5 side. If they go for the bottom tier 2, then that's guaranteed Raxes almost, unless, you know, the biggest fight of Moscow 5's life is going to occur. But the Slark is just so big right now. It's so difficult to lock him down. And hey, Roshan is up, so you might as well get that first. This is finally one that Moscow 5 are aware of, and they can crash. They get a Eul Scepter onto the Lina, dropping her into an LSA. BKB before anything can land, though. She does end up singing Tron, and now it's going to take quite a bit of damage from Templar Assassin. The BKB is going to run out. Now she's going to take a snooze, and they're going to try to set up with the Laguna Blade, but now we have the Ravage. It's only going to connect onto Vigas, who's still going to get his ultimate off anyway. It's going to be the Puck to fall first, then the Venomancer following shortly after. A nice ultimate or not for the Venomancer, just certainly not going to be enough. The Templar Assassin is probably going to have to base after this, or she could just grab and eat the cheese. That's also pretty good. Either way, Moscow 5 get absolutely demolished in yet another fight, and they're going to give up Aegis to the enemy side, and they're probably going to lose Raxes, if not outright the game. Maybe BUHLO just want to go down mid again.
Yeah, it seems that that's the case. They do give the Aegis the way of the Slark and the cheese the way of no one. And, well, yeah, mid lane's their choice. Slark is leading the charge with the Shadow Blade, and if anybody's outside of the base trying to get wards out, I'm looking at you, Unstable, they might get caught out and just instantly get demolished, but he's going to destroy the creep wave inside the enemy base. I'm not sure they can do enough about this. No buyback on the Puck, he's going to be out of commission for 30 seconds, and even if Venomancer does buy back, he's still without his ultimate, although not for the longest time. He's going to buy back and eventually have that. They need to get inside their base now, and this might be the last defense if they lose another fight.
Do you know that Dota is actually only one lane? Because that's how BUHLO are playing it right now. They could so very easily go into different lanes and take objectives there, and it looks like they are going to make their rotation out. So they're going to, I suppose, backdoor the bottom tier 2, which is going to be convenient, I guess, but not without their TA. She has a cheese, so if she wasn't completely chain stunned, she would be able to survive. Now Bloody Brain is going to teleport right into the middle of everything, gets a silence on the Bashu. Tron's going to charge forward as well with the song. They're going to catch only the Tidehunter, as Tron himself is going to take a snooze. You rarely see that from Naga Sirens while they're singing. Bashu gonna get hit with the LSA, now netted to the floor. Has a Force Staff, but I don't think he has much of a hope of escaping this one. In the meantime, Vigos getting chased down by the Slark is going to be abyssaled and then very quickly brought down. In the meantime, it's still on the back end where Ogre Magi and Blurry Brain are trying to fight. Tron does pick up the Tidehunter in the end. Coil onto 2. Slark needs a Shadow Dance, but he doesn't have that one. He has an Aegis, and he will be forced to use it right now. Sima and Arzeek are both going to be dropped, and now Slark is the only one surviving. Moscow 5, can they actually do this one? Blink out from the Slark. It looks like he will be the sole survivor of this massive team fight, unless he gets Yule's Scepter up into the air. Gem onto the Lina. She's going to get silenced, though. She has a Laguna Blade, but she doesn't have any mana for it any longer. BUHLO, they're really putting themselves into awkward situations by refusing to go down these side lanes.
Yeah, if they just played the
Radiant's top tower
more
is under
standard
attack.
game, they'd be in a lot better a situation. And now, secondary Shadow Blade, this one's going to be on the Lina. I don't think if this is like the greatest of item choices coming out from Lina. If you want to go for more damage, maybe just a little Crystallis would be better. But still, this could catch them off guard, and it's going to give them even more positioning tools. And it's items that Moscow 5 didn't have before. Laguna Blade available, and now King are potentially going to catch somebody off guard, or who's going to catch who? Slark is also inside that Shadow Blade. We'll be able to blink out. Slark is also sitting on quite a large lump sum of gold again, 5,000. This time, I think going for the Scotty would be the logical choice, but still, I think BUHLO, just go down the side lanes. I still think that they have the advantage, but you're playing up against a Naga. You can throw this game feasibly.
And let's take a look at how much they have thrown, if at all. They've been in the lead for quite a long time, still holding on to a 10k plus lead in both experience and gold, so it's still firmly in control of BUHLO at this stage. But if they refuse to go down the side lanes, then up against a Naga Siren, things can very easily turn. Naga Siren's complete up the Diffusal Blade, now working on her Butterfly, which she is actually remarkably close to 2-2-10, and Tron hasn't really been participating in much of this game PvE for the Naga Siren, but once she gets 6 slotted, it's just a Butterfly and then a Diffusal upgrade away. BUHLO, they will have to focus down the Naga Siren in a very, very focused way, and it's possible for sure, but hasn't really been happening thus far. Half because Naga Siren just hasn't been in a position to be focused down, but it's just a matter of time before BUHLO, I think they should just smarten up and go for these side lanes. But now look at the Naga Siren up towards top. She's just split pushing that, just a couple of illusions, even going to try to cut the mid wave a little bit as well. BUHLO, they wasted a large opportunity within the past couple of minutes by constantly going down mid.
Yeah. Slark is still a constant threat, but he is close to Tron as well as the Ogre Magi. I don't think either of these teams are going to be able to get these kills. Worst case scenario for Tron, he's Song TP's out. He's going to get a bounty rune. A little bit of extra gold for Naga Siren as he spots out Slark, or rather doesn't spot him out because of the Shadow Blade. Bottom, we are going to see that tier 2 tower drop, and now we have the LSA. No one is going to be dropped by that, but he gets the BKB off in time. Now going to be focused down King as he gets snapped back by that Earth Splitter. It's just too much damage for Lina to survive. That's a dominating spree going the way of the Elder Titan.
And Elder Titan can't really use that gold effectively, though he does have quite a bit of cash, so no matter what, he's going to get something. If he gets an armor item, Shiva's or Assault Cuirass, or, you know, trying to head towards one of those, or hell, even a Vlad's if they don't already have one, which I don't believe they do. And all these items are just things that Arzeek can pick up in order to influence the team just a little bit more. They're going to slow push BUHLO down on the bottom lane, not really because they want to, but just because they don't have the Slark in the area. So they're going to be forced into this position. They will eventually get this if they really want to, although they have to TP out. Sima's getting roughed up by Naga Siren Illusions. Not good times there. Slark has an MKB up. He is almost 6 slotted. He could ditch a Shadow Blade. I think that's probably worthwhile for him to do. Maybe ditch the Orchid for something that hurts a little bit more. You know, the Slark has a couple of options down the line, but he's for the most part topped out. And Moscow 5, they're going to lose this tier 2 tower at the very least. I don't know if they can make a high ground defense, though. It seems very difficult, especially since Ravage is up on Bashu.
Radiant's bottom
Yeah.
tower has fallen.
Right now, BUHLO, they have all the tools, and instead of pushing down for the tier 4 towers, they have a more clear objective, and once they get these barracks, they can back out and rinse and repeat up towards top. You do have to deal with Tron, who's pushing out your top lane, and will threaten Rax if you stick around too long. They are going to drop a Venomancer ultimate onto both the Templar Assassin and the Tidehunter, which will drop them as Scarth Mage kills off the Ogre, but an ultimate from Lina blows up the Templar Assassin. I've seen that at least 3 times this game.
And when you get an 11-minute or 16-minute Aghanim Scepter, right, it's going to happen quite often. So just like that, BUHLO, without their Templar Assassin, can no longer afford to push in down towards the bottom lane. In the meantime, Tron, he's taking top. Tier 3 is already down. Templar Assassin can buy back and fully defend this if she chooses to do so, but they're instead going to sacrifice their ranged Raxes. No, the Song of the Siren may buy the ranged Raxes a little more time, but no, they're going to go down. Ranged Illusion's going to make short work out of that one, and that's the first step for Moscow 5 to come back into this game. In the meantime, Vigos and RZ going to be dueling up against each other. The Stomp is going to land from the Titan and pounce forward, going to secure the kill onto the Venomancer. 3 are down from Moscow 5, and none of those heroes have buyback. So BUHLO, even though they are down their Templar Assassins, they still have the overwhelming numbers advantage if they just want to go right now into the enemy base.
Yeah, they could. Right now, Skywrath is going to invest a little bit further into his Dagon. Some burst damage definitely doesn't go amiss when you're dealing with heroes like a Naga Siren, especially if the Elder Titan isn't close. Being able to burst through him is pretty nice, but I'm not sure how impactful that item is actually going to be. We haven't really felt the impact of it when it was only level 1. I don't think a level or 2 is going to change anything about that sort. Let's see, it's BUHLO that are going to be waiting for their Templar Assassin, and even though they have the number advantage now, they're not able to do anything off of it. Slark's still hunting for any sort of pickoff, and I don't think he'll be able to find it. However, if he spotted out this courier, it could be pretty huge, as that's the butterfly for Tron, but it'll make its delivery, and even if it dies on the way back, doesn't matter. Instead, it's going to be unstable. We jumped upon Abyssal, and now with the Blink, Ghost Scepter's going to survive the Ogre a little bit longer, but a Dark Pact will do him in, if nothing else.
So Slark gets a very clean kill. Again, Ogre does not have buyback because he's just way too freaking poor to save up that gold. BUHLO should be looking for the bottom lane or the top lane. Both of these options are pretty damn good. However, Elder Titan getting Yules is not going to die anytime soon, so he's going to be just fine, turn things around. He's going to continuously apply this pressure along with an invisible Slark. So Moscow 5, they may think that there's just an Elder Titan there. They're in for a Rude Awakening if they continue to work off of this assumption. And top lane is being pushed now from BUHLO, so it looks like they have realized that this game has 3 lanes, but at this point Naga Siren, she's going to split push this, or counter push this rather, very effectively, and the rest of Moscow 5 going to close in. There's a Shadow Blade on King R, jump forward from Vigos, ultimate onto literally nobody. It's going to be Simo who's going to get Laguna Bladed. Rest in peace, Skywrath Mage. Bashu Bashu is going to survive. Another pick off for Moscow 5, just a little bit more time for them to stall this push, but what are they stalling for? At this point, the Naga Siren is almost completely 6-slotted with buyback. There's no point in stalling anymore for Moscow 5. They have to look to end this game somehow without, them losing.
Yeah. Right now, if you are wondering where the Virtus Pro game versus Moscow 5 is, this is the stream to have it, but we have to wait until this game is over. This is the first series of the day for Battle of Central Europe, and it seems to be continuing the status quo, and Moscow 5, they are capped out on their Naga. They are going to stomp off onto the Ogre, but that doesn't really do anything except for continuously put a little bit of pressure onto this wave by keeping those creeps at lower HP. Monkey King Bar is also going to be purchased up by no one, so even more damage for his Templar Assassin if that's even possible, and also just more secure damage onto the Naga Siren. It's scary for Moscow 5. They're holding, but what are they going to be able to do with this? They need to be able to take at least 1, if not 2 sets of racks within the next 10 minutes.
They need someone else to start building into some serious damage. That hero should be King R. I mean, he's 17 kills on the Lina. You should be able to build up some damage off of that. Shadow Blade would kind of indicate that he's willing to do so. But he needs something that hits hard, and I don't know what that may be. MKB Daedalus. Arzik is going to get, once again, obliterated by Lina's Aghanim Scepter Laguna Blade. And actually, BUHLO, their bottom lane is being pushed by pretty much everyone from Moscow 5. Is this going to be this tier 2 tower finally dropping in this game, or are BUHLO going to make a defense? They still have to worry about the Slark Moscow 5, and it looks like they're not willing to fully commit. Yeah, they're going to split up and get the hell out of there. BUHLO, I feel like this game should have been over by now if they just went for the sideline lanes, but instead it's still Moscow 5 holding. Still the Naga Siren has only 1 more item advancement in the Diffusal Blade upgrade to actually move forward too, but she's holding the waves out of her base and buying more time for potentially Lina to get something that hits hard.
Yeah. Eventually, Nagasiren might consider going for like a 7th slot, swapping out the Radiance when you make your illusions to be able to push stuff into Abyssal Blade on your own, or maybe a Daedalus for some more damage on those illusions instead of the Diffusal. But for the most part, she's completely tapped out, canceling a TP of no one up in top. I think Templar Assassin is gonna die here, although she has a BKB. She might just be able to run out if you're a BKB turn. Onda Unstable is now netted down to the ground. Damage from Tron isn't enough. They bring in the Lina as well. They have that Laguna Blade, and that's going to secure the end of Templar Assassin's life.
97 seconds, no buyback. The Slark is going to work for Roshan. He should be able to take that one down, but Moscow 5, they're finding these pickoffs and at the very least delaying this incoming push. They have to look for an enemy set of Raxes, though. I mean, they can try to go for this top lane, and it looks like Nagasiren's going to start with that and then try to go for bottom lane. So they're trying to do everything at the same time, which may be biting them in the ass, as they have to just be getting something. And no matter what that something may be, as long as they get one thing, it's going to be fine for them. But I don't know, the Templar Assassin's down, and they should at the very least be trying to force out the buyback from that hero. They don't know, of course, that the TA doesn't have buyback, but you might as well test it. Instead, they put a little bit of pressure up towards top, a little bit of pressure towards bottom, and then once again, they're in this weird kind of stalled out state of the game, 53 minutes into the game.
Yeah, Slark, he is going to ship away that Shadow Blade for a BKB, but now without a slot for the Aegis, they're going to give it the way of the Skarath Mage. Honestly, not very impactful at all. Although Skarath Mage can decently use full health as well as mana pool, he's still going to drop so incredibly fast the second time. I'm not sure if it's entirely worth it, but then again, who else is going to use it better? I'd like to see them give it to the other Titan, but currently up top, we see a jump in Eul Scepter onto the Skarath Mage himself, and now with the silence on the puck, they'll bring down Blow Your Brain in a heartbeat. Elder Titan is also inbound. Everybody else makes it out safely, as Selena is currently invis inside the trees.
Alright, so Lina doesn't have a TP out, but she does have a Blink Dagger, a ton of mobility. She's on a super secret mission, and I don't exactly know what that is because that's classified, but she's digging, and she's going to try to get into the enemy base. Maybe if BUHLO aren't counter-pushing this top lane, then Lina will be able to backdoor Raxes, or she's just going to dig the other way, and then... Where is she going? She just wants to get out, I think. Oh, man.
I mean,
this game is getting clowny.
Just a little bit right now. King Ara does find himself a path to freedom, going towards his base, generally the best course of action. Does have enough money for Boots of Trouble, but with no TP, was in a bit of a pickle if anybody would stick around. As for the Dire side, we are going to see Pashibashu now with a refresher, as well as his Pipe of Insight. His mana pool is very strapped, and using his ultimate as well as the refresher, ultimate, and pipe is pretty much going to drain him dry.
Man, BUHLO, they are sitting now on a double Ravage, so they should be... Even if they don't want to use the pipe or anything like that, they should just be looking for a set of Raxes. Because still, I mean, it feels like BUHLO are just like very close to actually outright winning the game. And with the Ancient exposed, that's kind of understandable. But they still are only one Rax ahead in this game. And that's only like half a Rax in lead, since top lane, the range was previously taken by Tron, so they're not that far ahead, all things considered. Tron is going to get jumped by the Slark, has Vigos in backup, though, and Slark is going to be able to escape just fine, and even pulls out the ultimate from the Venomancer. Now they're going to try to sing and chase forward. The song is going to catch, looks like just the Slark, but he pops BKB, and he will be just fine. However, netted to the floor. No, he dodges it with the pounce, and he's now home free. It's going to be from the side where Ravage is going to come through, annihilate Blow Your Brain, but that's pretty much going to be it. Tron in the offside is going to be brought down, as well as Nagasiren does have buyback and then some. Can they get anyone else? BUHLO, if they don't push the top lane after this, then I'm out. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I think that's really the only option. Buyback from the Nagasiren is going to be a little bit of a nuisance for them, but they have another Ravage to spend this fight as well. Refresher pop by the Tidehunter, going to jump behind the tower, blink forward, Ravage, going to catch out Vigos. He is Ghost Sceptered up, Fire Blast, multicast onto Pashibashu, but not before they lose to Venomancer. Buyback from the Veno, doesn't have an ultimate for 10 seconds, but doesn't matter. Tier G top is going to fall incredibly fast to Desolated, and just raw damage from all of these heroes, and now the task for Moscow 5 is to defend the high ground. They're going to be doing it without the puck, but everybody else has their cooldowns available. Nagasiren's song just coming up.
Well, they don't have double Ravage, and BUHLO, they only have a one hero lead right now, so this might not be the easiest fight for them. Vigos is going to land a decent ultimate onto 3, however, he's very quickly going to take a fall. And no, Seema, with the misplaced Mystic Flare, is going to delay that kill for just a little while longer. Vigos does go down in the end. Now Aegis is going to proc from the Skarath Mage. Right back up he goes, and Tron is at full HP, has bought back into this game. Vigos does not have a buyback in. BUHLO, I don't know if they can keep going for this one, quite honestly. It's going to be very thin if they do decide to go for it. King R gonna Laguna Blade, Pashu Pashu, Dragon Slave, not quite going to kill off that Tidehunter. It's like one of the few times Laguna Blade hasn't done it for King R in this game, but BUHLO, they do not take the tier 3 tower, let alone the Raxes, and Moscow 5, I think, they may have just held yet again. However, next time, they will not have buyback on the Siren.
Yeah, and that's going to be very scary for them. We have a pause, and this game is getting closely to some really super late game territory. I mean, it's not the longest game we've ever seen, but at about 60 minutes, it starts feeling like it is. Naga Siren especially, just dragging it out. She has almost 6,000 gold in the inventory, and with no buyback for 6 minutes, there's really not much that Naga Siren can purchase with this gold, and there's nobody else that can, I don't know, push out the waves either. So they're kind of in a sticky situation where Tron can't get any bigger and where nobody else can find anything. Lena, now with 3,000 gold, might be the place to change that. Boots of Travel might be nice for King R, but I don't know, they just need a little bit more. What they've had so far is held, but still the problem is that they haven't been able to take any structures on the enemy side with the exception of that top lane barracks, and even that was about 20 minutes ago.
And it hasn't really been relevant either. Minor amounts of pressure going the way towards BUHLO, but I mean, they have Tidehunter and Elder Titan, who at this point are more than capable of clearing out large waves, especially Elder Titan with that Assault Cuirass, and he's going to pick up a Blink Dagger of his own. Sure, I mean, why not? They're still very far ahead, BUHLO, so they could pretty much go for whatever items they want. I think getting something that is a little bit more direct and smashy or just tanky would have been a little bit more useful. Maybe a Sheep Stick to just outright end the game. But sure, you could get a Blink Dagger, I suppose. That's never really a bad item to get, so we'll see if it pans out for them. BUHLO, they're going to, once again, group up in the middle lane because they love themselves a middle lane. And, well, they're going to try to push that one down. Do they still have a cheese? Yes, they do on the Templar Assassin, so they have a Roshan respawning in 3 minutes. Honestly, it should not be a necessity for them to stall out for that one. But, no, it's just mid lane push. Okay. I guess smoke into the enemy mid lane and they won't expect it. I wouldn't expect it.
Yeah, right now, let's see if anybody's going to fall into the trap. It's going to be the Courier to die. And that Courier was holding on to a Perseverance. I'm not sure who that was for. They're going to stunt the Slark behind the Ancient. Blow Your Brain is going to do some, I don't know, distractions in the back lines. There's going to be Nurse Spitter flying out, pipe popped, and BUHLO, they're going to be able to make it out. The Courier is the only casualty so far, and the Ancient's going to be completely fine because there are no creeps inside the base. So smoke gank for Courier, it's not useless for BUHLO, but it's not very impactful either. That Perseverance wasn't immediately impactful.
And I thought with BUHLO's lineup, even though there was a Naga Siren in this game would not get to this point, but we are at this point where BUHLO can't advance and Moscow 5 can't advance either, so we're just in this weird as hell stalemate thing. And I mean, BUHLO still have a double Ravage up, so they should be able to take a fight as long as they don't get picked off right now. Tidehunter is in a precarious situation. He doesn't have a TP outwards, and he does have an Elder Titan nearby, but Blow Your Brain and Unstable both closing in mighty quick, and Naga Siren Illusion is going to see everything. Eul Scepter now onto that Titan. Ravage number 1 is going to be committed. Hit onto 2. Ravage number 2 shortly to come, although it will only hit onto Unstable. Already dead with Mystic Flare. Blow Your Brain is going to, well, try to get away. Song of the Siren is going to get Blow Your Brain quite a bit of space, but the Naga Siren's outrunning the puck. Looks like the puck will be able to survive. Ogre Magi down for the umpteenth time. Can BUHLO actually go for this one? They have a Ravage, though they don't have the mana to use it. They're still going up against 4 Moscow 5 heroes. Actually, Tron sitting right on top of Psionic Trap. He doesn't have a Song of the Siren. He has a TP, but he's going to get blown up. No buyback. Oh, man, that's certainly a nice pickoff, and no one with a random Psionic Trap is going to be MVP of this game. This trap might just have secured BUHLO the game.
Yeah, I think so. It's a really decent place to get vision, especially when you have those split pushing heroes that are going to be abusing the tree line like a Naga and Tinker, but that was so lucky for them. Vigos picked up, silenced up, eats 1 Arcane Bolt, but now the Slark trying to eat into him. The Ghost Scepter is going to stop that, gets up his ultimate, but pretty much only onto the Slark. Now Vigos, caught between 2 men enemy heroes, is going to fall. Lena survives, but only just to the Templar Assassin, and well, that's the tier 3 tower down. Dreamcoil will delay this a little bit, but Eul Scepter, and there's just nothing they can do. Pipe pop, tier 3 tower, and now the melee barracks to fall. Abyssal Blade on the Blow Your Brain. He's gone. Now Lena slowed down by the trap. Force staff forward. GG called out by Tron, and this 60-minute marathon is finally ended. And BUHLO, although they probably could have ended it faster, are eventually going to come out with the win, tying up the series 1-1. And now into Virtus Pro versus Moscow 5, we're going to go.
Yeah, goddamn it, chat. Come on. It is a best of 2, so this series is over. Moscow 5 versus Virtus Pro is going to be coming up right after this game. It's going to be another best of 2, so I'm sure everyone is here for that one, so I don't have to tell you to stay tuned, but that lobby will be up very shortly. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be right back for Moscow 5 versus Virtus Pro.